Hi there, welcome to Guitarfingers. This is Guitarfingers Book 1 and this is the first of a series of 3 books which is aimed at learning fingerstyle guitar, aimed at Spanish, classical, Latin American and modern contemporary pop songs in the fingerstyle. As you can see, I'm using a nylon string classical guitar or Spanish guitar type. You can use a acoustic steel string if you have. You just get a slightly different sound, but maybe we'll discuss those issues further in the video series. This is video 1, which takes us of course the blue coloured book for book 1, and it's going to take us right from the beginning of very first picking up a guitar, holding it like a classical guitar player if you like, and how we're going to use our left and right hands, how we're going to sit, how we're going to start to learn to read music, and hopefully the book will take you all the way through picking up the guitar for the very first time, maybe all the way up towards grade 1, grade 2 level. The book's quite comprehensive and give you a great introduction into learning fingerstyle guitar. So straight away let's have a look at how I'm actually sitting, and this will help take away the mystery of why we sit in this position. As you can see, I've got the guitar resting, I'm playing right-handed of course, so I've got the guitar resting on my left knee and the bout areas here. So in this nice curved bit here, I've just got my guitar resting on my knee, facing upwards at about 45 degrees, pointing upwards there. And I'm using a footstool. I'm not using a leg brace to rest the guitar, so if you haven't got a footstool and you wish to sit in this kind of position, this is the kind of footstool you need to do that. You can buy leg braces, as I said, and that helps you keep both feet on the ground, and that might be more comfortable for you to use one of those. I'm sitting fairly upright. I've got my chest just kind of gently touching the back of the guitar. I'm not trying to force myself onto the guitar to push it too far forward, but it's just nice and comfortable. The guitar's nice and balanced and just resting on my chest. As you can see, I've got my right hand just over this top part of the guitar here, this lower bout. I've got it at about 45 degrees, coming acrossways. My hand is just behind the sound hole, so that's my right hand. And we'll talk about the left hand when we need to come to do that. So let's start straight away and think about how we're going to play the first notes. If you've never played before, this is your very first time to using a guitar, or if you're just kind of interested in looking at somebody else's versions like myself of technique and how to play the strings so you get a lovely mellow deep sound, but still with plenty of volume as well. So let's look straight away at the right hand technique. Okay, so I'm playing right-handed guitar, and my right hand is going to be the hand that plays the strings. My left hand is going to play the guitar neck. So the way I kind of look at this, I've been shown quite a few good ways of how to hold the right hand, so I'll use one kind of my favourite at the moment. So I'm going to put my right hand up, so it's just facing upwards, palm up like that. I'm now going to just face it this way. I'm just going to bring my fingers and my thumb together, so it's looks like a bit of a duck head there, I guess, a duck's head. And we go, this is actually how I teach the children that I teach. So we form the duck and then we go dead duck. Okay, so now you can see we've kind of got a dead bird's head shape there. I bring that now to the middle of the guitar strings, so my fingers and thumbs are just touching the guitar strings. I'm not trying to play anything at the moment. And then you'll see maybe on the overhead camera, I'll go quack and the duck comes alive, and now my thumb has widened away from my fingers and I'm going to rest my thumb on string 6. So that's quite important because now my hand's nice and steady. I'm just holding my fingers quite loose, just letting them rest down, but ultimately now it's just nice and steady. Okay, my hand's not going to go anywhere. So let's have a look at playing the first string. In my book you'll see there's a string neck diagram, and you'll see the thinnest string is the E string, or string 1. I'll keep referring it to either string 1 or the E string, and it's this string here. The thinnest string, the clearest of the thinnest of the clear strings. Now, what I did there, you can probably just see better on the overhead. You can see I'm just bringing my finger in. It's like a little waving motion really from the fingers. My hand is kept steady because of my thumb, and I'm just waving inwards. That's all I'm doing, waving my fingers. I'm just going to use my right hand index finger, and I'm going to play string 1. Okay, so string 1 again. I'll just do 4 of those. Okay, so that's our E string. I'm going to use now my middle finger, and I'm going to do the same again on string 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, I've got my hand nice and steady. Okay, nice and steady. And I'll just mention here as well about the position of my right hand again. I did the duck, dead duck, quack comes alive, and thumb on string 6. But what you can see, and hopefully it's come out better on the overhead, is that I've got a nice gap between my wrist and the guitar. It's not flat, because then my fingers just can't play the strings. I'll just claw at them and we'll get a strange sound. So just keep that gap there as you bring the hand down. Yeah, it comes out better on the overhead. So now I've got plenty of room to wave my fingers and they just walk through. So I'll do those middle ones again. There's 4 of those. And now I'm going to alternate them. I'm going to do index, middle, index, middle. So you can hear I'm getting a nice stroke on the strings. It's just stroking them, it's not plucking them. If you're plucking upwards, you're going to get a catching sound and a pluck sound. Whereas you can see I'm just stroking my fingers. Just letting it go off the side of my finger, because you can see my hand is pointed like 45 degrees really towards that part of the guitar. So it's coming off the side of my finger, and of course with my nails it then glides along the nails, so I get a flash, and then the higher sound, I guess the pick of my fingernails. So I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll do that on string 2 now, as you can see on page 1, the neck diagram there shows that string 2 is the B string. So I'll play 4 B strings with walking fingers. Walking, you can see that the motion is like walking. Index, middle, index, middle. And that means that one finger is not going to have to work too hard. And of course when we're playing nice songs, we want to be able to use the fingers alternating so that one finger doesn't get tired, but also there's lots of other benefits like keeping the timing nice and even as well. Well, we can see on page 1 I've discussed the open strings 1 and 2. We've just learned how to use our right hand to play those strings. Nice walking fingers, stroking sound with the hand in the correct position. So that's the summary of the right hand. We can see from the music, note E, string 1, we can see the note head is in the top space. Okay, so if you've not read music before, all you're looking at the music stave, that's the 5 lines, and you can see there 4 spaces. The top space is note E, so that's my E that we've just played. The note B is the middle line, so they're not guitar strings. That's quite important to remember. There's only 5 lines on here, and this music stave is used for lots of other instruments, so it's a music stave, not like in the tablature system where we have 6 lines. This is just 5 lines and 4 spaces, and that's what we're going to use at the moment. The symbol at the beginning is just a treble clef. That just tells us where the curl is. That is note G, and we'll come to that one later on. So that's a universal system for identifying a specific line for a specific note. I've mentioned don't worry about which way the tails or stems I should say are heading. Generally I'll use them as stems up and when we come to other notes I'll do stems down to kind of say that they're different notes. They're going to be ones that are going to sound lower.